Hello, and welcome to the CTB show. Today is May 10th, 2021. The weather, fairly typical. The Dow, it's higher than ever. Welcome to the show. My name is Evan the Mayor. That is Brother Livo.
I should tell everybody my doping scandal is coming up soon, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Brian is a horse, and that is Casey the Casey.
It breaks my heart to know that the men I raised to honor the commandments came back as crooks with dirty mouths and terrible attitudes.
Is that the Blues Brothers?
It is. Come on.
Hey, buddies. Buddies and ladies and all sorts of crazies. Welcome to the show. Another day, another podcast for you, your ears and or your eyes if you are one of those delicate few that watches us on YouTube. Thank you very much. Top of the show plugs, we have none because we have an ad sponsor, as you are aware. But be extra aware that our ad sponsor, if you decide to go to them and order a product, will give you a free gift.
But just you have to tell them you come from us.
That's right. That ultimately, in fact, you know what? Even if you don't want to buy something necessarily, or you plan on buying something online, go on the phone, call up Smythe Jewelers, and say, the CTB show sent me. And
yes, please.
They will definitely give you a cupcake, or I don't even know. They have not told us exactly what they will give you, but I'm sure it's some sort of keychain or a tchotchke of some variety.
I'm sure it's delightful.
It's going to be. You know it's going to be.
It's got to be.
It's got to be.
It's gonna be May.
It's gonna be May. They're gonna give you a meme sticker, a bumper sticker with Justin Timberlake on it that says it's gonna be May.
It's going to be a delightful special event.
Not a guarantee.
With Smythe Jewelers.
We are awful.
Terrible.
Huge shills. Okay, so this week on the podcast we have a slew of Baltimore topics, most of which are kind of effed up. But we also have some funny stuff about horses that are doing drugs. So I think I'd rather do that one first. Damn it! I can't put my glasses on because I got the headset on. Who wants to take it away, Casey? Because you added it to the show notes page.
I mean, do we want to start with Mother's Day?
Why not? Because
my mom's dead.
I was going to say, you're generally the only person who is actually affected by Mother's Day. I mean, I had dinner with my mom. And we made some Mexical cuisine, which will be part of my shout-out. But, yeah, how was Amber's Mother's Day?
Ooh, did some big things this weekend. Went to the Arundel Mills Mall.
Ew.
Everybody loves a trip to Bass Pro Shops on Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Picked up some Chevys to go. And so that's the first time I've been inside that mall in over a year and a half.
So wait. Hold on. Let me get this straight. Both of us did Tex-Mex for Mother's Day?
Yeah.
Wow. Weird.
And so I got Amber's been craving the flautas. It's one of her favorite meals. And so went and got some pickup and so I ordered chips, like sides of chips. But because of the pandemic, they're doing things in bulk now, and I walked away with 3 giant bags of tortilla chips.
And
all of which lasted you till Monday morning.
Yeah, I thought it was going to last me all week, and they're almost done.
Damn, a lot of chip consumption in that household.
Casey loves merch, whether or not it's T-shirts or restaurant chips. He will buy it.
I know. Got a giant thing of queso, a giant thing of salsa. So that was
how many chips have the cats consumed?
None. We're just they haven't picked up on it yet. We're hopefully they'll be gone before they pick up on it.
I was gonna say, because if it were me, I would just want to get rid of the chips as fast as possible and just smear them with cat food and leave them out back.
They would be in my belly.
Oh,
so as soon as we're done, like 5 seconds after we're done, just shoveling some salsa in my face.
Now, Casey, are you a spicy man or a mild man?
I'm more on the mild side these days.
Okay.
I just
Shocker.
can't handle the spice anymore.
Yeah, because what peeves me to no end is when I go into the grocery store and you see like the hot salsa, and with the exception of maybe the Tostitos habanero salsa blend, there's no. Come on, man, that's not
Well,
spicy.
there's no middle ground anymore because you're either getting hot salsa that's really mild, or
Right,
you're getting fucking ghost pepper shit. And
right.
like, what if there was just some kind of in between?
Yeah, flamethrower, colon cancer, hot sauce, or just like Taco Bell's quote fire sauce. No, no, sir, no, sir.
I like the fire sauce.
It's fine. It's not spicy.
Mm, okay,
Mm,
I don't remember it. I haven't had it in a while.
I don't remember it.
I just know that's what I put on.
All right. Well, that covers Mother's Day, I guess.
Yeah, you know what? I celebrate single fathers on Mother's Day.
So what? But Casey, this is Amber's what, fourth Mother's Day?
Third.
Third,
Third. Okay. Well,
Third.
Congrats.
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
but now she's doing it for two, so it gets multiplied every.
No, it
Yeah.
gets cut in half.
Ah,
You only get 50% per child.
that's right. So everybody's half-assing it.
That's right.
50%
Yeah,
full child per child, full effort from nobody.
I'll say, like, going in, I was like, you know what? I'm totally cool with this. I'm totally cool going in the mall, and then I was not mentally prepared for that.
Was that your gift to her beyond buying her dinner? Like, you know, she had to eat. Like,
Take out from Chevy's.
right.
That she's been talking for weeks about how she specifically missed the flautas and wanted the flautas, but she's not cool going up.
And what?
Like,
They're
we're
not
cool
on
with going to
Grubhub? Like, they're not on Grubhub?
No, we
Like,
can't get it. There's barely any good takeout in Dundalk. There's a couple of good spots, but no good Tex-Mex.
well, you know what?
And
Maybe some bullshit Instagrams are doing their dumb food surveys that I hate and I think are stupid and their jokes are bad. So maybe we can find you a good takeout place in Dundalk, Casey.
This is Brian's third week in a row trying to start a beef that will never exist.
If someone could just tell them that I'm talking mad shit and I think they suck, that would be good for me.
Except you don't really have a presence on Twitter and or Instagram, so it's not like they can call you out.
I'm not on Twitter at all.
Yeah.
There is no longer a Brian Levy
Levy
Twitter
83.
handle. No, it was always it wasn't.
No,
really,
it's Brian.
I forget what-
That's right.
Yeah, I just never used it. But I have a slight presence on Instagram in that the people that I know follow me. I don't have strangers following me.
Yeah. Okay.
I wish I did. I think strangers would find me. They would love my series of condom wrappers.
Oh yeah.
Found along
Pictures of condom wrappers, and that's basically it. If you want to see more of that, bevvy83 on Instagram.
I mean, it looks
Yeah.
like what you would post when you're in like high school. It's that, and then like whatever music you're listening to at the moment.
Well, yeah, Casey, just like I'm in high school. That's kind of where I'm at in my life at the moment.
I'm sorry, it's like you're in college.
Thank you. At least give me the bump. Come on, man.
You
I'm
deserve-
just
no. You deserve no bumps. I'm sorry.
no. I mean, listen, we're in the finals. Everyone's freaking out, and I'm just like, no matter what I do in my finals, I'll pass all my classes. Me.
I would suggest that you do.
Oh yeah, no.
Because if
cool.
you failed out of college at this point, you're
Oh
off the show.
no, I can't fail out of college. What could happen is, and this I think is fascinating for everyone, if my GPA doesn't hit a certain point when I'm ready, it's going to delay me for like a semester. Because in 2003, when I dropped out of college, I didn't withdraw from any classes. I just failed them all. So I've got like 5 fucking Fs that are just weighing me down.
Oh, that was a bad decision.
It was, well, I wasn't making great decisions there in the fall of 2003.
Or currently.
I was gonna say, when did that start?
I'm making great decisions now. I'm rocking and rolling.
I don't know, bro. You're still unemployed.
Oh yeah, but almost by choice. I'd have to
Almost by choice.
I'd have to go. Oh right, like you said, bad decisions. I mean, I could go. I feel like I could get a job like the week that I want to, so I just gotta do that. I feel very comfortable. I've finally bought in.
Apparently, nationwide, there are an awful lot of help wanted signs out there.
Well, but I've got rid of my Facebook. I know how to answer this question. I'm looking for jobs that respect me as an individual. I'm looking for that. I'm looking for that $30 an hour dishwasher job.
Yeah, man.
I'm waiting for somebody. We had our buddy Dave Seal on like a year ago at this point,
almost to the day, yeah.
And boy, you want to talk about a good Facebook dumpster fire? That Baltimore Restaurant Relief Group is in trouble.
Yeah, well, a lot of people wanting money, and I don't envy his position, because it's like, if you want to talk about an insane group of people, look no further than service industry folks on the internet.
And to begin with, it's like that thing. Hey, there's nothing better than a bunch of strung out, sex-addicted, pill-addled workers singing your 5-year-old happy birthday.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, right. That's about right.
And holding their hand out for a $100 grant.
The restaurant industry is in need of, like, I wish I was an old English person who was like a waiter at some place, and like, oh, hello, I've been here for 30 years. Welcome to Miss Shirley's. Like.
Would you have like a nice little bow tie with a tails coat, on?
Oh, hello. Welcome to the finest dining establishment in Baltimore, the Blue Moon Cafe.
Would you like French toast with Captain Crunch on it?
Today we have a lovely egg-battered challah bread, dusted lightly with fruity pebbles.
House-made donut holes featuring Cocoa Krispies.
Welcome to Baltimore, where you can have the ice cream with Old Bay.
Woo! And caramel.
I don't know why I would, but honestly, I do think we should probably be paying our wait staffs $15 an hour all the time.
Yeah, just so they'll shut up.
On board. Right. So I don't have to hear about it anymore.
Hey, are you not good enough to get tips? $15 an hour maybe for you.
I think you have to get $15 an hour and tips.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
If they're making a living wage, like, I will give them a tip if, like, I don't know, like, they do something extra special.
Like they go down beneath that tablecloth, say, "Hi, sir."
I'm not saying that, but that would certainly be worth a $30 tip.
No, I think you still have to tip them, because they're getting paid, and then they're getting paid from one person, and then you're saying thank you from yourself. Thank you for serving me.
What are so since we live in a mostly tip economy, why is it that, you go to the laundromat, you don't have to tip anybody? There are various menial wage jobs that we're not expected to tip anybody.
I don't know what you think that Jerry's Kids jar is, where they're taking donations for like March of Dimes or some shit, but none of that money goes to March of Dimes. when you give a quarter to buy some Mike and Ike's for the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, well, I'm sorry, but those people are still coughing, because everybody's just, the staff gets those quarters.
Well, here's what doubly pisses me off about that kind of quote donation system, is that the company in question, or the business in question, even if they do donate that money, they get to do it as a write-off, like a charitable donation, because none of us are smart enough to write off a quarter donation at the 7-Eleven or something like that.
Listen, look.
The 7-Eleven over the course of a year might accumulate several $1,000s in donations via pocket change, and they get to write all that shit off.
Okay. Well, you should do it too.
Why should they be able to write it off when it's not their donation? It makes no sense.
Are you giving thousands of dollars of quarters away a year for free Taco Bell tacos
I mean, I could.
with the spinner, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. No, I didn't get it. You know what I'm talking about with the game?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Thank you,
I know
Casey.
what you're talking about, but I never did it.
Oh well, you're lost.
I think the most I ever got was the like cinnamon twists.
Oh, the churros?
No, that's new.
Churros aren't new.
No, the cinnamon
at
twists
Taco
are a
Bell.
completely different product than churros.
Okay, whatever.
Thank you,
I don't
Brian.
care. I don't care.
Yeah, you're
I don't
welcome,
care.
Casey.
You know what, guys? It's time to move on. Time to move on to the next topic.
Okay,
So Brian is in trouble. He was doping, and now he
Right.
because
See,
Brian's a horse.
yeah, I was gonna say Brian's in horse jail because he broke the rules according to his background. Casey, tee it up.
they said, "Were you doing drugs?" And I said, "Nay."
The winner of the Kentucky Derby tested positive for a banned, not necessarily a banned substance, but for juicing, and so they may get their first place finish revoked.
So, okay.
Made the
So
forfeit.
definitely, in this case, if the first place, crown gets revoked, does the second place horse get it?
Yes.
What
So-
happens to all the bets? Like, do they get flipped?
You
What
get to keep your bets. If you bet and you made money off of Montrose Rose or whatever this horse's name is, you get to keep your money. What's the horse's name, Casey?
1 second. So the one thing that's important to note, so they tested the first, it's Medina Spirit. So the first
Montrose
test
Rose.
came back positive. It's for a substance that they are allowed to use in training, but they're supposed to, they're not allowed to give it within 14 days of competition.
What I thought
and-
was very strange about this substance is basically it's an anti-inflammatory cream, which they argue is a performance enhancing cream because it is a pain reliever. So these horses that are in agonizing pain all the time from like running nonstop all day long are like, please just let me not feel pain. And it's like, no. That makes you run faster, bro.
I forget. Is horse racing barbaric or is it one of the good ones?
My opinion of horse racing and also golf, very bad. Like I don't like either one of them, because it's basically like, okay, we've got these Greek industrialists that are 100 gajillionaires who basically for funsies hire tiny human beings that have eating disorders to ride on horses that they breed for $10 million per jizzlob, and it's totally fucked out to me. Like, I don't get it. I don't admire the culture. I think it's disgusting.
And then what? You don't like golf because of some sort of ecological impact thing?
Mostly, yes.
Okay. I think we should take the golf courses and build houses on them for people. Thanks. That's how I would.
Idea.
That's how I would solve.
Actually, Brian,
crisis.
I disagree.
Oh.
I think we should incorporate mixed-use retail and condos into these various golf resorts. Because what would be better than getting out on your balcony or on the rooftop pool and watching T. Woods belt one out into the pond because he's disabled now?
I have a question. Did you? And I love how we've gotten here from horses. Did you know that there's like some weird town like in the middle of Baltimore up by Cold Spring that was built by like famous architects or something, and it was supposed to be like condos and houses and stores, but just nobody ever moved in?
It sounds familiar, except that I didn't think it was in Cold Spring. It was like adjacent to Poppleton. There was like a big old apartment glass wall building that has been completed, but nobody is moving into it.
Did you ever see that movie High Rise?
No,
with
Loki?
Loki?
With The Rock?
No, that was Skyscraper. Anyway, back to horses. I was like, does this mean is the horse disgraced? Like, could this horse be like, does this horse show up to like the horse gym and all the other horses are like, Hey man, we're not hanging out with you. He's like, hey, I was just trying to win my race. You know, I was just trying to go out there. I don't want to take it up. And he's like, nah, you need to fight your way. Could you remember? Okay. All right. Here's the movie. Okay. You've got the one horse who's like, oh, I was in a doping scandal. I can't run no more. And then you've got his like jockey who's like, oh, I keep losing races. How do I get back on the get back on the horse, metaphorically speaking? And
is the jockey a member of the Lollipop Guild?
Well, they're little. They're little. I don't think they're little people, but I think they are little people. You know what I mean? So they talk like this. It's like, we have to come together and redeem ourselves. And then, like, they win. Like, I don't know if we can do it, horse rider. And then the horse is like, come on, horse, we can do it.
First of all, I think the jockeys of the world should unionize and just revolt and be like, we're not going to take it.
Simpsons did it.
We're gonna stud our own horses. We're gonna start our own league, and just
remember when the Simpsons bought a horse and Bart was the jockey, and like he found out that all the jockeys are really elves.
Yes. That was not a great episode.
Not a good one, but now I want to watch
it. Okay, have fun.
Yeah, but
not now, but I will.
They're still slated to run in the Preakness on Saturday.
I thought that was up in the air.
Well, they're in Baltimore as of today.
They
still have to test the B sample. They have to test the B sample, and then they have an appeal. So it's in all likelihood, unless something comes out in the next couple days,
what's the B sample? I would think they'd be testing the P sample. Nailed it.
Yeah, what are they going to get out of the bees? Are the bees like stinging the horse and then getting the juice like in the bee?
I thought the bees were what's like. I thought what was in the bees. Oh, I thought you meant his horse bees.
Horse bees?
They're like chalk nuts, but they're on horses and real.
Oh, gotcha.
His horse bees. He's got no marbles.
All right, let's stop talking about horses. Move on to the next
horses. Anyway, this seems like a job for horse cops, but we're not ready to have that.
Oh yeah, horse cops. Oh man, Brian, we gotta revisit that.
Well, on this episode of Horse Cops, Officer Buttercup has to go undercover to like this is basically a 21 Jump Street episode. Officer Buttercup has to go undercover to stop the doping scandal at the horse track.
Oh my God!
Like,
hey,
this is episode 3 of Horse Cops. We got to that. We got there real quick.
I was gonna say, listener and/or viewer, if you remember us talking about Horse Cops, please leave a comment.
And tell Smythe Jewelers. They're dying to know about Horse Cops.
Yeah, they are.
They told me.
They're gonna get so many weird calls, like 3.
Hey, you got any horse jewelry? I heard about Horse Cops and heard Smythe has horse jewelry.
Like, thank you for calling Smythe Jewelers. It's Jill. Hey, Jill, I just wanted to let you know there are horse cops and they do solve crimes. So just be like, okay, thank you.
Sounds good. Do you have any horse earrings? Because my horse cop is very edgy.
We have just recently. He's just got one. He's got one, and it's a skull.
Yeah.
He's basically what?
Butter stuff's a real rebel.
I think you could find a horse to look like a 23-year-old Johnny Depp. I don't think that would be tough.
Yeah, you just put a little wig on him.
Yeah, I think it'd be easy.
Okay.
And we can, and if we buy that earring, we can probably get it from Smythe Jewelers, I'm sure.
Yeah. Why don't we briefly do a quickie before we get to the shout-outs section of the show? It's very simple. It doesn't require a whole lot of talking, but I've seen reports online that the mass vax sites that are downtown are basically like not crowded. Like
that's it. We've solved COVID. It's over.
Yeah, either we've solved COVID or people just are. That's it. Like people now just don't care about getting the vaccine.
We gotta get to the people who can't get to those sites now. That's the mission.
Okay, but at this point, it's been like a couple of months. Like I'm very sympathetic, right? I'm very on board with like.
I mean, you don't have a car. How did you get to your appointment? You don't have a car.
I got a ride.
All right.
I walked. I fucking walked.
Right, and honestly, that's just because I had to go out to the county. If I was going like downtown, take the light rail. I get there. Like at this point, it's been a few months. I'm very sympathetic to the idea that not everybody could get there immediately. But at this point, get there.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, now that, if these vaccines are available at CVS and you can just walk in and get one, there is no excuse at all. Unless you're just like, I don't care, or I'm afraid, or whatever. It's like, okay, well, you've had your opportunity. Go ahead and get it.
Well, I think if it was going to kill us, it would have killed us by now, right? Like, that was one of the things, like, hey, I'm just waiting to see how it affects people. Well, at this point, I think people have been getting it since January. I think
I got my second dose like a month ago ish.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, no one's dying from this thing except for the people that did. And like, there's like 12.
Well, that ultimately was one of the most egregious, awful things that cunt fucker Tucker Carlson did on his show was basically report that the vaccine is killing people based on the adverse reports database, that if a person who is, say, 83 gets the vaccine and then within 2 weeks dies of being 83, they attribute it falsely to the vaccine. And in fact, this database does none of that. It just says, like, okay, here's the timeline. They got the vaccine, now they're dead. It doesn't say the vaccine did it. But
on top of that, if you gave out, delicious marshmallows to the entire population.
Right. And
for
someone
some
wound
reason,
up dying. This guy got a free marshmallow and died 2 weeks later.
Fucked up, man.
Fucked up.
Stop eating marshmallows.
Marshmallows kill people. So here's the mind trap that I enjoy when it comes.
I mean, that's. I mean, it might give you diabetes, and that can kill you.
Yeah, that's a slow killer. Slow killer.
Shut up to diabetes.
But here's the mind trap that I enjoy when it comes to COVID and the vaccine, because, you've got Donald Trump, who is aching to take credit for it, which, Operation Warp Speed was under his administration. But the majority of his followers, either don't think that the COVID thing is a real thing, and B, don't trust the vaccine. So does he really want to take credit for this thing that no one on his side seems to like?
Well, the majority of his poorer followers don't want it. The majority of his richer followers believe that COVID is a thing, don't care about COVID, want to take their chances and not wear their masks to Bass Pro Shop on Mother's Day to hang out with Casey.
Well, they're not. Well, they're sending their like employees to do the shopping at Bass Pro Shop.
But like so they all, like, I feel like older, wealthier Republicans probably got that shot and didn't even think twice about it.
Right. Yeah, because the entire distrust of vaccine technology is a falsehood, period.
But the Appalachian Republicans, dicey at best. You're going to see it die off.
The most brilliant and damaging thing for the Republican Party was convincing rural poor people that they're on their side.
Kaiser Sose like a mofo.
Yeah. But either way.
Wow, what a downer that was.
So as a result of that action, we should try to get a little happier. And try to... Yes, Casey, I love that smile. Try to get a little happier. Try to celebrate the internet sensation.
Give me the tray.
Sweeping the nation, it's time for shout-outs.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Shout-outs! This is the part of the show in which we don't really take a break at this point, except for an ad break in the audio version, in which we give mad props, aka shout-outs, to persons, places, and things that are giving us jollies and improving our quality of life. Casey, did you say we had any... The fan zone is failing us. No,
I've got two.
You have two personal shoutouts.
I have two personal shoutouts, but the fan zone came up empty. The harder I try with the shout out, the call for shoutouts and shoutouts recently,
Casey has been so
the less
creative
response
with his
I get.
Call outs, and we're getting less and less.
I think it's a Gen X thing. I think you got to show some ennui. You got to show some like, hey, if you want
Just be
to,
like, I don't know, if you want to send us a shout out, it's cool. I don't fucking care.
Maybe
you know,
if you
we
feel
don't
like it.
care if she comes, stays, lays, or prays. It's just like whatever.
Casey, what are your 2 shout outs?
So my shout out one, my almost 3-year-old now is starting to attempt to tell jokes, and it is very entertaining.
I think, honestly, Casey, you need to type those down so that we can read them on the podcast.
Hi,
Okay.
hi, I'm Cannon Cochran, and what's a Jewish dilemma? Hi, hey, I'm Cannon Cochran. How do you make a dead baby float?
yeah.
Hey, I'm Cannon Cochran. How do you punish Helen Keller? Oh,
Not quite.
I'm Cannon Cochran. Why did Helen Keller's dog kill itself? You would too if your name was.
Hi, Emma. I'm Cannon Cochran. What do you tell a girl with 2 black eyes?
What, Casey? Why did you give your kid totally tasteless jokes?
Volume 5.
1 through 3.
Hey.
Why? You know what?
I'm a lady trucker applying for a job, and my employer asked me, have you ever been picked up by the fuzz? And I said, no, but I've been slung around by the tits.
Hey, so 3 black guys walk into a bar. No, Cannon, no. Enough.
You'll never host SNL.
Not where I was going with that, but
Hey, did you hear about these Jews?
Have you heard about the new Jewish sports car? It stops on a dime and it picks it up.
Casey, we have got to talk about your kids. Anyway, so he's beginning to tell jokes. Continue.
And then somehow I managed to get rid of the news feed in my Reddit mobile app, and I've never felt better.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yay, man. Good mental health.
Nobody needs that in their life.
I'm
also contemplating just completely deleting Facebook from my phone, except that I'm running like a social media page. Yeah. Go for it, Brian.
I always think about it. I don't. My shout out this week's to Five Guys. I don't think I love Five Guys. I sometimes think I should get 2 burgers because I downed the first one in like 5 minutes. And then I'm like, oh, I wish I was still eating that. Like, I wish that was just a taste that was always happening in my mouth.
My only problem with Five Guys is that you either have too many fries or not enough.
Just get a medium, and then you're fine.
I'm talking about when you're like ordering for the family, like you're trying, like, because if you get the large, like it's more than what one person can order. So you try to get the large, and then a small, and then that just happens not to be enough one night.
Okay, first
now
off,
I'm gonna get like 2 larges. I don't know.
What is the potato? What Irish family are you feeding with all of these potatoes? Like, why can't you just like? Oh,
Brian,
sorry.
Brian, have you had to feed a toddler before? That's all they eat.
Is French fries? Well, okay, I guess.
I have a shout out. It's a food related shout out as well. To enchiladas. Delightful.
Wow,
they're delightful.
Hey, really ran the gamut.
Wait, is that what you had for Mother's Day?
It is.
I think I had an enchilada too.
What?
You guys should just kiss and get it over with. Come on.
Come on, Casey. Come on. Just get open there.
No. Bridge too far.
Oh. It's not real, so it's not gay. Or is it? All right, Truck and Lauren. We got to take an ad break, for real, though. Audio version. If you're watching this on YouTube, not so much. All right, we are back from break, and we still got some Baltimore stuff to talk about. A thing that I kind of wanted to bring up because, as we do on this show, we have discussed the state's attorney of Baltimore City, Marilyn Mosby, a few times because I don't know. I don't know what's going on with them, but it is weird. But to continue the train of weirdness, title of the episode, Marilyn Mosby and her office. So basically, one of her lawyers in her office wrote a complaint to the FCC to complain about WBFF Fox 45 for what they claim to be nasty, racist, various other hyperbolic terms coverage of her and probably her husband as well, because they're both, I don't know, getting into lukewarm water. I don't know what temperature the water is. But holy mother, there is a 3-page complaint, which is on scribed.com that you can read. And it's bonkers. It basically states that, the right-wing media presence in Baltimore is trying to cancel her and her office and is basically engaging in libel and or slander. I don't know which is which, legally speaking. But the FCC, one of the commissioners, one of 4 or 5, I don't know how many there are, who happens to be a Trump appointee, gave a rebuttal to this, which is absolutely insane. And I'm going to read some of the, well, not absolutely insane, but I'm going to read a few of these things because this guy says, quote, "The state's attorney office, led by Democrat Marilyn Mosby," there you go, Democrat, so we've already politicized it, "has launched a chilling and direct attack on free speech and journalistic freedom. The complaint her office filed with the FCC asks the commission to censor a newsroom simply because journalists are doing their constitutionally protected jobs and shining a light on the work of the state's attorney, invoking the power of the state to silence journalists for unfavorable coverage strikes at the very heart of the First Amendment." Ah!
So wait, did they just use the fake news argument?
In a manner of speaking, but look, what's weird is I read through the FCC complaint, and they do cite numerous articles that the Fox Baltimore website, they're all hit pieces, it's for sure, but it's not 100% untrue. But the lawyer did a strange thing, and there is a question as to whether this lawyer is using taxpayer dollars to lobby this complaint, which seems to be a common thread with that particular state's attorney's office, is utilizing taxpayer dollars to, protect themselves politically, which, I don't know, man, shouldn't be doing that. And not only that, but just fucking ignore them. Ignore Fox 45.
And here's the thing. So, as I would say, former broadcast professional, I think I'm comfortable enough to call myself that. I happen to I pay a lot of attention to the way the news is done around town, and yeah, I have a lot of problems with Fox 45's. They are the Sinclairiest of Sinclair stations. They are, home base for Sinclair, and I find their
basically
coverage
an unending dunk fest on whatever
the
is
city
going
of Baltimore.
on. In Baltimore City.
As an elected official, though, you just can't say anything about it. Get a friend of yours to make an FCC complaint, but you can't do it.
If I were to lobby the easiest complaint of all time against the Mosbys is that they are remarkably thin-skinned, almost Trump-level thin-skinned, and for Marilyn Mosby's office to lobby a complaint against the FCC for yellow journalism, essentially, is okay.
Just don't do it. Just don't do the FCC. Do a press conference and be like, "Are you seeing this bullshit? Are you seeing what they're saying about me?
Right.
Do you see this racist shit?" Do that. Do that all day.
Because ultimately what happened was immediately Fox Baltimore, WBFF, did 3 features on this thing.
I saw one last night. It's wild.
The Barbara Streisand effect.
It is 100% the Streisand effect. And if you don't know what the Streisand effect, that was this one time she didn't want this article about her house to be in a newspaper or something. And then there were 50 billion articles about her house and about the fact that she didn't want it to be in the newspaper, and so she called a whole lot more of attention to it when there was none there. And now every time this happens to somebody else and they talk about the Streisand effect, they explain the Streisand effect. So there's even more shit about that house that keeps coming out.
Yeah.
Like we're doing right now.
It's like an infinitely repeatable butterfly effect. Or cycle,
yes.
Whatever. But
yes.
So
what the worst thing about like this move on behalf of the Mosby office is that they already have a lot of eyeballs on them in terms of the investigations and the tax stuff and this and that and the other, which they repeatedly claim is racist and also like a witch hunt and this and that and the other. And I'm like, well, I don't know, man. Like, and the claim is that the reason this is happening is because they are agents of change in the progressive movement. And I'm like, I don't know, man. You've been in office for 6 years plus, and only now you're talking about vacating convictions on weed. You could have done that day 2, but no. Now it's like a backpedaling effect where it's like, oh shit, we got heat on us. I gotta get up on a podium and say the war on drugs is over.
it's kind of like it's kind of right out of the Trump playbook almost. Like they're trying to deflect and attack to the point where like you forget about what you were worried about 3 days ago because so much other stuff is being discussed since then.
Right.
I don't have like an inherent bias against these married individuals like on face. If they do good work, I will always acknowledge it. But what I have not seen out of either one of them is good work in the last like 8 years plus. Sorry. And the idea that they're being investigated for like tax evasion or I don't know what, it just kind of layers on that cake of disappointment. And I, as a Baltimorean, we don't have fucking time for this anymore. We have had to deal with so much corruption in the last generation plus, and it needs to stop. It needs to fucking stop. It needs to be done with. And every time like one of these new headlines comes out about like, oh, vacation travel versus business travel versus various other ethics disclosures, and then the ethics disclosure gets updated to reflect the various gifts and things like that, I'm like, stop fucking giving them ammunition to shit on this city. Like, good God. And for as many times as I've heard, and this is strange, like people that I know that are very comfortable with like bad-mouthing the mayor, I'm like, he couldn't possibly be worse than the last one we had. And I think he's very earnest in his approach and is trying to do good stuff, like left, right, and center. Like, no question in my mind.
Yeah, he's just trying to do what's best.
He's not corrupt. He's making hard decisions. He knows it's not all going to be popular, but
perfect example was the decision to start a pilot program to route some 911 calls to mental health professionals,
right,
in cases like that need it. And I had to unfollow the Baltimore Sun on Facebook because every comment on those posts was like, oh, this is going to be terrible. This, murder free, like, and then of course, then somebody's got to make it like, bring out the dog whistles. Like, it's just toxic. It's terrible.
But yeah, speaking of mental health issues, we've got this guy this past week which thank God was in Baltimore County, who clearly was insane, and like the neighborhood surrounding him had multiple peace orders against him going back over 10 years. But he's got guns, and one of which was seized by the Baltimore City Police at some point, and I can't remember why. But dude was still armed and insane, and just this past weekend set fire to his own house, shot his neighbors, and one of them got away. So his parents are dead. He's like a 17-year-old with no parents. And, like, the guy got killed by the police, but, like, what? There's no justice for this kid at all. And he just stood out on his driveway and shot neighbors from across the street. And I tend to think that this is just going to get worse. Like, people are going nuts, and it's getting worse.
I know.
Sorry.
No. So I'm like, I was trying to think, what's the perfect 90s song? I did come up with it. Like, how do I describe this in like 90s song? So I walk upon high and I step to the ledge to see the world below.
Right.
And I laugh at myself while the tears roll down. Because it's the world I know. Because it's the world I know.
Wait, what band was that? Was that Goo Goo Dolls?
Collective Soul? No, not Collective Soul. Was it? I think
I was
I'm
gonna
right.
say live, but I don't think it's...
Casey, why weren't
I
you
think it's Collective
Shazamming
Soul.
him while he was doing that? Oh, it's Collective
Because I
Soul.
walk upon high and I step to the edge. Kind of sounds
It is
Nickelback.
Collective Soul.
Nailed it.
Well,
whoa, whoa.
it's all just very.
The light shine down.
It's all just very upsetting, and you know, I just, oh God, all I want is
Miserable.
for us to start to crawl our way out of a unending cycle of misery, not only in Baltimore City but as a nation.
There's going to be some kind of
and I just don't think
metaphysical...
I don't think there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
No, there's going to be some kind of metaphysical catharsis that's going to come around eventually. Maybe it's because I'm spending all this time looking at Flat Earth Instagram, but I believe it. We're up for a big awakening. I feel it coming. Earth's flat.
Well, I tell you what it's going to be. It's when
There are
the
no
FDA
satellites.
When the FDA finally approves MDMA-based mental health therapy.
You think so? We just got to give all the nutbags Molly?
Oh yeah, no, this is a real thing.
By the way, I shouldn't
They're
say
saying by
nutbag.
like
This is a comedy
2023.
podcast. What?
What?
Is that a 1984 thing?
No. This is happening right now. They're saying by 2023 they will start to probably, do it. I mean, we're already using ketamine for like PTSD therapy and various other drugs that.
But isn't that what this shit was designed for anyway?
For a lot of these drugs, I don't really know what the original intent was, but
the electric Kool-Aid acid test gets its hands on it. I'm like, fuck. What was that guy, Timothy Leary? He's like,
the most dangerous man in America.
Hey kids, you have got to try this.
What was it? Tune in and turn off. What was it?
Tune in, turn out, turn on. I don't know.
Yeah. Title of the episode.
I don't know.
One flew over the cuckoo's nest, man.
We are so in touch with pop culture.
We're the worst.
I want to try one of those sensory deprivation tanks.
I thought you were going to say microdosing MDMA. I was like, I want to be there for that.
I mean, I feel like it's along the same lines, but like I saw on a television show, and I'm like,
Simpsons?
I would be up to try that, but it's only going to go one of two. It's going to go one of two ways. It's either going to drive me insane because like you're just there alone with your thoughts, or it's going to be the most calming experience ever because you're just everything else is shut out.
And you can't feel
which one it'll be.
Can you feel anything touching you in a sensory deprivation tank?
I think you're floating in like salt water, right?
Yeah. You're just floating in saline in the dark.
How long can you do that? I could do it for 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
How long are you supposed to be able to do things like that?
I think it's supposed to be like an hour session.
Yeah. I think the typical session is an hour, and it probably charges you like $200,000.
Well, but
it's like a couple $100, I think.
But I do think, back to like Evan said, how the world's just kind of going a little nutty. As somebody who has engaged in therapy over the last year, I got to say, I think, I don't think you can government mandate therapy. That sounds a little creepy, but I think everybody should get therapy. And I think people are just, it's too much of, see, you used to be able to say fucked up shit to your friends and your friends could call you out on it. But then for some reason, people have decided to start saying fucked up shit on like Facebook to strangers. And like strangers who don't know you call you out on it. And it's much meaner. And just everybody's just much more like, I feel like America and the world is in a constant state of fight or flight. And like the entire world is just everybody is just so fucking on edge. Everyone just gotta relax.
But it's also everyone has gotten so much uglier in the past, and I don't mean physically. I mean like online.
No, people are getting hotter.
Yeah. Look, I've seen lots of people on Instagram whose parents are not that hot, and they are.
Right. Good filters.
But no, yeah, I think one of the most nefarious things that Facebook unfortunately has discovered is that old people on the internet are dumb and they don't know how to like interact with one another.
Well,
It
it's the
just
same
brings
thing
up
with
that.
young people too.
Listen, guys, we are like seconds away from saying.
but I think
But
the
what
difference
about
is
the discourse? But what about the discourse?
it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
Not really.
No. But I think, like I said, metaphysical awakening coming soon. Can't wait for it. Satellites aren't real; they're just hot air balloons. All right.
Neither are birds, and we're
Well,
doing fine
everybody
with
knows. Listen, old news. Come on.
that. Look, I got the 5G in my arm. I got birds, drones all over the place, like doing surveillance for me. What
So
else
you're
you
like
gonna-
the Falcon.
If you believe that the sun is 93 million miles away, 93 million miles away, then I have a bridge to sell you. That's all.
Okay.
That's just it.
What is the color of the bridge?
Well, it's the Brooklyn Bridge, if you must ask.
Oh, no, I didn't care about where it is. I just want to know the color.
It's like a steel color.
Okay.
That it's like a shiny. It's like the color of the comic book character Steel.
Brian, if you're gonna sell
It's
a bridge,
hammer time.
you've gotta jazz up the language. It's not steel, it's space gray.
It's space gray.
Ooh,
Apple.
yeah, not
It's got a
gunmetal.
nice little Apple
Space
logo
steel.
on it.
Well, Casey, outer space isn't real.
That's right.
If
You know,
you
that
think,
kind of revelation makes me a little angry.
Ah,
Oof. Makes me a little venti.
NASA is lying to you so we can make money off of movies.
But you know who isn't? Space Force. And that
Not
makes
real.
me a little pissed offy.
How they're taking your money. So they're taking your money.
It makes me want to go right ahead and tell everyone to shut up.
We gonna let the band deal with this.
Total carnage!
All right, this is the end of the show in which we give persons, places, and things that are lowering our quality of life and generally deproving it. A hearty, proverbial, or literal. Shut up! Casey, we've got like one from the internet.
Yeah, we've got a couple.
Ooh, good. All right, read them out.
But before I do that, libel is tangible and comes in the form of print, writing, or pictures, while slander is intangible and comes in the form of spoken words or gestures.
Okay, so all this would be slander.
Libel. It's
Libel.
well, I would imagine.
Yeah.
I don't know. So,
My bad.
so how would a news report be intangible, or would it be like?
No,
would
no,
that-
Yeah, because if it's
If
it's a
video,
media?
if it's video,
yeah.
Hey,
Because
I
that's
know we've got
technically
at least
spoken
one or
word.
two lawyer listeners. Let us know.
All right.
LIB
so,
as in Libra for book. And SLA, slander.
Oh, is that
for,
how you do it? Is that the
yeah.
mechanism?
And then you don't have to know what's...
mnemonic?
Yeah.
so
LIB.
I didn't have to look it up, Brian. You knew it because of college.
No, man, I knew it because I read a book once. Come on, get out of here.
I wrote a book once.
Whoa, whoa. Hey, oh.
Zach Electric Golf says, "Shut up to the dude at the grocery store that literally said, as long as borders are opened up, I don't think mask restrictions will ever stop." So I guess his shut up would be to Canadians? Question mark.
Also, the thought is that because of people crossing the border, we're going to continue getting sick, or the government is going to continue to make us wear masks. I don't understand that.
We can only speculate, and much like how many licks it takes to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop, we may never know.
The
And
world...
also, we're
No,
all
it's a
dumber for entertaining the thought process at all.
Also, remember, just convince your dumb uncle that this way the cameras can't see his fucking face. Wear a hat, wear a mask. You are invisible to tracking. God,
Oh yeah, good thought, Brian.
thank you.
So Zach Electric Golf didn't post this, but this is inspired by him. Shut up to for those with that have children. The entertainer known as Blippy on his YouTube channel, they switched out the actor that's playing Blippy and tried to just like totally slip in a new actor, not tell anybody, and people are like, "What the fuck is this?"
It's funny because I didn't know that. I just made Zach posted something about that on Facebook, and I just made a funny comment because I don't have kids. I don't know who Blippi is, but apparently this is big. This is like when Steve left and like the new Steve showed up, but his name was.
But at least on Blue's Clues, they addressed it and they like introduced the new person as like Steve's cousin or something like this. This would be like if Pee-wee's Playhouse just completely swapped out the actor for Pee-wee and just didn't even mention it. Not even like an Iron Man 2 Rhodey shows up and says, "I'm here. You deal with it. Let's move on."
like, hey everybody. I'm Polly Pee-wee Shark. Like, I don't know if
I'm
you
the
know
Pee-weasel.
about what happened to Paul Rubens' body.
All right, Brian, what do you got?
Wouldn't that have been weird if after Paul Rubens got nailed jerking off, like they just said like, and now Joe Piscopo. Hey, yo, it's me, Joe Piscopo.
Brian, what do you got?
Oh. Well, we forgot, we didn't get to it, but I cannot emphasize enough how amazing Girls 5 Eva is. It is so good. I've been listening to the songs like on my own. It's completely fucked up my algorithm because now I'm getting like John Mulaney stand-up bits in my daily mixes, and I'm like, oh, I mean, it's nice, but like I was listening to music, like getting a lot more Lonely Island, and that's cool. But you know, it's anyway, so you know, shout out to Girls 5 Eva. Shout out to, I wish Spotify would just know, hey, I'm just really into this comedy song just for like this week and stuff. We don't have to mix it in.
Casey, did you have a personal shut up?
Yeah, 2 more from the fan zone.
Oh, what?
Adam says, shut up to the people that put vinyl siding on row homes.
Yeah, it's weird.
And Jeff Elkins says, shut up to the old man that started preaching Fox News crap to me and my daughter while we were in line to get her second vaccine.
So
I want to
the
know
person
more.
was in line to get a vaccine and was doing Fox News stuff in line to get a
That's
vaccine?
why I want to know more about that situation, because that seems interesting.
Yeah, oh well. Yeah, I mean, shut up to all that kind of bullshit, as we already talked about. My shut up is to, wait, I'm sorry, yeah, Casey, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and Tucker Carlson, like you mentioned last week, all time shut up.
But also this week.
And this week, and next week.
Yeah, and for every week until he runs for president.
Forever. Okay,
I have a shut up.
Okay.
My shut up is to big booty hoes. Just kidding. Shut up to little booty hoes.
Okay. Hey, I would like to say, ladies, just be happy however you look. Thanks.
Okay.
You're all beautiful to me.
In your own way, words can't bring us down.
Fuck. Damn, that's a hot song. Love that song.
Okay, this has been episode 361 of the CTB show. Hey, we might have a guest or two on in the next couple of weeks. Who knows? We got to get back into that. You know, It's like we go through these dry spells. But I have heard.
But if you listen to any of the podcasts, they're only just now beginning to have guests again.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. But yeah, the Baltimore Rock Opera Society has a new production coming out. We might interview them. And Brian has a special episode in mind that we may or may not be putting together very shortly. You'll be very pleased with the content if you are as old as we are.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for being a fan. Thank you very much for being a friend. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. Whee!
Hooray!